Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. I am your host, Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I advise women and organizations on how to achieve professional success by working with them on their image and impact by focusing on ABCDs. That's right, appearance, behaviors, communication skills, and digital presence. It's a holistic approach, y'all. I just don't talk about the appearance. I talk about all the other aspects of personal branding. So I do that in a number of ways. I'm a professional keynote speaker. I'm an image consultant, a personal brand expert, an author of 3 books, y'all, and a United States Air Force veteran of 30 years. Huh? And so today I'm here. It is Tuesday. I hope everyone is having a great start of the week. And we're going to talk about another subject that is something that's very important. So buckle up. If you don't already have something, a beverage of your choice, hopefully it is either water, coffee, or tea, because it is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. And I know, sometimes we need a little bit of spice, but it is the morning time, y'all. And this is the point where we can take some things in and we can really strive to do better in all aspects of our professional and personal presence. And today we're going to talk about accountability. Okay, accountability. This is one of the things that is very critical to our personal brand. So if you are here, please let me know that you're here and I can give you a proper shout out. And thank you so much for being here with us live. But if you're not quite sure of what space you're in, let me just share with you. The word slay is the foundation of Slay to Success. It means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym of universal life and leadership philosophies that have really resonated with me over the course of my life. And each letter is representative of how I want to show up. So S, stay ready to be ready. L, lead out loud. A sense of community, a sense of family, and Y, you are built to last. And so today, y'all, I really want to talk about accountability and how it breeds responsibility. Okay. Now, I know this might be a little sensitive and a little touchy for some people, because when I say accountability, everybody kind of like gets tightened up and they're trying to do an evaluation of what's going on. And then you get a little bit of down because there's some things that you should have been doing and you said you were going to do, but you just haven't followed through. Well, here it's not to poke anybody in the eye. It is really to take a reflection, take an audit of where we're at and ask ourselves some different questions so we can see where we're truly at. All right. So accountability breeds responsibility is a quote by Stephen Covey. I love Stephen Covey and his work. And I've written down some notes here. So this is why I'm looking down here. So that way I do not lose track of what I'm going to be talking about. But it's the ability to choose your response to a situation or circumstance and to do so with intention and care. Again, it's to choose your response to a situation or circumstance and to do so with intention and care. How many times have we've been in a situation or circumstance and we may have responded in a way where we weren't most proud? I can put my hand up, probably put both my hands up on times where I have done so, and I had to look back and ask myself, what was I accountable for in this situation? What is my part? How did I play that out, right? Because we have to be mindful of ourselves. We have to know what our thoughts and our feelings and using self-control, okay? Managing our emotions. We have to use our self-control. We have to use our knowledge. We have to use our skills and to take care of ourselves, even when it's difficult to do so. And I know that sometimes there can be some struggles. I'll tell you right now, it can be struggles to restrain yourself from responding in a way when someone says, hey, you're not doing something a certain way, or I thought you were going to, be presenting in this way, or when you were talking, you really weren't speaking the way that you should. It could be a gamut of things, y'all. It could be a gamut of things. So the reason why I chose to talk about personal branding and how you can use that as a tool as the forefront of my business to advise and to empower women professionals, because I get women calling me all the time. All right. And I have to ask them questions about their personal brand. And really, do they have that strategy, this tool, so we can rely on? Because in this world, we're in a digital age. I don't care, again, what anyone is saying, like, oh, I don't want to do social media. Well, your online presence is probably the first impression people have of you. Anybody can go and look at any of your platforms. They can Google you at any point. And you have to have a well-managed personal brand, because that ensures that, it is the person that they are wanting to work with. It's the person that is going to represent their brand appropriately. So it's that impression, and you want that to be positive, and you want that to be professional. Now, in this job market, whether you're, in a professional setting where you traditional 9 to 5, or you're part-time, or you're doing remote work, this personal branding can help you stand out to some recruiters and to hiring managers. Maybe you want to transition into a new career. All right. This is where we get a chance to look at our personal brand and how that's being perceived by others. And for those that are entrepreneurs like myself and business owners, a strong personal brand can attract the clients, the investors, and the partners. This is going to drive your business growth and your success. I know that my business has grown significantly over the past year and a half because I've been putting myself out there on all kinds of different things, not just online, but in my local community, throughout the DMV. And it's because I have a very signature way that I show up. Everyone knows what that is when they see me. All right. I am affectionately called the Slay Queen, because of my acronym, because of what it stands for, because of how I dress, because of how I work out. There's a lot of different facets to Slay to Success. And so I want to be able to attract the right people who are in alignment with what I am trying to do. And people have to know that you're managing your personal brand, that you're controlling the narrative of who you are and what you stand for, rather than leaving it to other people, all right, to their interpretation or chancing it. All right. We get to set that personal branding the way that we want, especially if you're in higher leadership roles, transitioning out of a career, an entrepreneur, so forth and so on. So accountability in personal branding means taking responsibility for consistently maintaining and enhancing your brand across all aspects of your professional and your personal presence. It involves being proactive, y'all. Okay. You got to set and meet some goals. And you got to ensure that your actions are actually aligning with the values and the image you want to project. So we're going to talk a little bit about the aspects of the accountability, all right, and how it breeds responsibility. So you have to ensure this personal brand that you have created, all right, how you want the world to perceive you, is uniformly represented across all your platforms and interactions. This is online and offline, meaning, is it consistent? Does it build trust and recognition? Does your audience know what to expect from you, which is going to strengthen your reputation? All right. If not, we need to develop and adhere to a personal brand guideline that covers the visual elements, your tone of your voice, and your key messaging. When was the last time that you actually took evaluation of how you are perceived in all these different areas? All right. So this is an opportunity to do so. Like, just stop and think about it. Where are you interfacing with people? Okay. Is it consistent? Is it, or is it up and down? Is sometimes you're showing up one way, and the other day you're showing up the different way, and the next day you're showing up a different way. All right. We just have to make sure that we're developing and adhering to a personal brand guideline that covers visual elements. Then we have to be reliable. Okay. So a lot of times, all right, there are days where I'm like, I just don't know. I'm not really up to what I said I'm going to do. For example, y'all know that I work out every morning. All right. Believe it or not, there are days when I go down to our gym and I'm thinking to myself, I could just easily just say, okay, I'll just go back upstairs, get on my bed, turn on the TV, and now the Olympics is on 24/7. So I can just watch the Olympics all day. And I don't have to really follow through with anything that I said I was going to do. Well, if I do that for me, and I don't know if it's for you as well, but I feel some certain way. I feel like I didn't get anything accomplished that I said that I was going to be committed to. So we have to be dependable in our commitments, in our interactions, because reliability reinforces the credibility and trustworthiness. People are more likely to engage with and support someone that they can count on. All right. So we got to follow through on our promises. We got to follow through on our deadlines. We got to set realistic expectations and communicate openly if any changes are necessary. Yes, this is a lot of work. All right. There's a lot of effort, but believe in me, when you know that people are, coming to you and you can be very reliable and they know that you are going to be there, this definitely breeds credibility and trustworthiness. Now, we also have to be authentic. Okay. Authentic and true to ourselves, not to somebody else's guidelines, not to somebody else's measuring stick. All right. And means really to stay true to your core values and present an honest and genuine image. This is why, y'all, that I created SLAY into an acronym. I wanted to make sure that the values that were most important to me was something that I can rattle off very easily. All right. And I can demonstrate very easily. Yes, Andrea, how are you? Yes, and it ultimately contributes to influence. Absolutely. So, people are always trying to figure things out. They're always figuring out how can I best, get to a certain, opportunity. How can I get my foot into the door? You have to be able to generate this personal brand that we're talking about has to be on point. All right. So again, and it has to be true to your values because authenticity really resonates with our audiences and it really fosters a deeper connection and it differentiates you from others who might be less genuine. Just let's be honest. There are some people who are just acting like everyone else because they just want to fit in. They don't want to seem weird. They don't want to seem a little bit quirky. I have a lot of things that people kind of go, ooh, but it's true to me. This is how I am. All right. So we got to be able to share our personal stories. Don't be afraid to share your experiences that reflect your true self. I put my stuff out there all the time. Yes, I'm a veteran. I'm a woman veteran. I'm a proud woman veteran. You're going to see pictures of me in my uniform. You're going to hear stories of me and the lessons that I have learned because I spent 3 decades. Why would I not be sharing that information with you or those stories or those experiences, right? Yes, amen. All right. We all have stories. We all have experiences. So thank you so much, Coach K, for showing up with me live today as well. I hope that you're feeling good and you're doing well. So we got to be transparent about our strengths and our areas where we want to grow. All right. Then we have to have continuous improvement all the time, looking at ways to ensure that our personal brand is evolving and that it is relevant and it is in alignment, okay, and impactful. Okay, relevancy, all right? That's one of the words that I'm always have at the forefront of my mind. I need to have fresh, something new, a different perspective, something that's out of the box, something that's a little bit more visionary. All right. I've taken 1,000,001 personality tests. I know that I am an authority, like I have an authority like voice. I love to elevate and inspire and motivate other people. I love when people are winning. I want to see people shine. I always trying to give a little bit more than my audience would be expecting. Yes, relevant, because times are changing. Coach K, you know that? You know as well as I do. Times are changing and it is ever so evolving now. And people want to stay stagnant with the status quo. I do not prescribe to anyone that says back in the day. I don't want to hear about back in the day. All right. All right. Like in the point where we should go back to that point, right? And even though you're sharing your story, you should be sharing it as to how it is relevant for today and how we're moving, and how we are evolving. So stay relevant, keep it impactful, and we have to be able to continually improve. And that again evolves with our career, and it has to be in alignment with our goals and expectations of our audience. What are your people coming to you about? What do they want to know more about? How do they see you? Okay, so get the feedback from your mentors, your peers, your audience. You got to invest in personal and professional development. Again, invest in personal and professional development. All right. I know sometimes people are a little tight with this money, right? Because just let's be honest, the inflation rate and everything else that's going on in today's world, it's hard, sometimes to even think about paying the bills. There's a lot of bills that are coming to the door or in the mailbox, and you're like, oh my gosh. But you know what? We have to be investing in our personal and professional development. So set some monies aside. And sometimes these personal and professional development, it doesn't really cost any money. You can go and listen to a podcast. You can go and read some books. You can, I don't know, read some articles, blogs, whatever that case may be. But we have to have some impactful improvements. That's right, Coach K. They have to be impactful. All right. So we have to be setting some clear and actionable objectives for our personal brand. All right, because those goals are going to provide the direction and the motivation, and it's going to help us to stay focused on what matters the most for our personal brand. So we can use, some tools like SMART. All right, everyone knows about SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, we can use that as our guideline to set goals, to set and track our progress. All right, but whatever it is, have some goals and see if you're able to achieve them. And if not, go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, why didn't I achieve those goals? Was there something that came up that stopped me? Was it my thoughts that was holding me back? Was it the people around me that was stopping me because they're not the right people in my circle? Just, do an evaluation. All right. So we also have to be actively promoting our personal brand through various channels and engagements, because increased visibility enhances our reach and our influence, opening up for new opportunities. So when I began my business, y'all, I didn't know exactly which platform I was going to use. I'm dibble dabble, in a lot of the different platforms. But what I found was LinkedIn is the most impactful platform for what I am trying to do. Now, it's not for everybody, okay? And it's not for every business. So you have to know, where is your audience, all right? And then start promoting yourself. I start promoting myself with thought leadership. All right. I have a master's degree in strategic leadership. Love, 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 love all things leadership. All right. I started the Slay to Success talk show. I have this Rise and Slay morning show. I'm always out in the community. I wrote 3 books. I do a lot of promotion about my personal brand because it has increased my visibility. Yes, we have to have goal-directed focus. Absolutely. All right. And if these things aren't working, we go back and we ask ourselves why. Okay. So we have to increase our visibility. So regularly update any of your digital profiles. All right. Publish content, participate in relevant discussions and events. There's so many ways that you can do that. So many times people say, well, I don't know how to put myself out there. Well, I just tell people just do it. All right. So as we are being accountable, okay, and again, it's crucial for maintaining a strong and impactful personal brand across all your elements like appearance, behaviors, digital presence, communication, because it ensures consistency, reliability, and authenticity. Because when you're accountable, the benefits of this is you will see positive first impressions because your appearance will set the tone for how others perceive you. A well-maintained appearance conveys confidence and attention to detail. When you look good, you feel good, which enhances your self-assurance. Okay? When you look good, you feel good, so it enhances your self-assurance. So, what do we need to be doing? All right, some of the simple things we could be doing is maintaining consistent grooming and personal hygiene. Yes, okay, sometimes we are in a rush and we're not quite sure, right? I have to get up a few hours before. So I get up in the morning at like 7:30 in the morning, before 7:30, sometimes 7, right? To get ready for the show. I got to work out. All right. I got to get dressed. I got to make sure that when I come on a platform that I look my best. So I plan my wardrobe ahead of important events. Okay. We have to know what we're going and how we're going to present ourselves. What are we going to be wearing? What are the messages that we're going to convey? Yes, frequent, visible, and captivating marketing. Absolutely. All right. If it's not in that way, you will see your personal brand just decline, and you are going to feel some sort of way, and the audience that you're trying to reach is going to feel a certain way. So we have to regularly reflect on our actions and the alignment of our brand. Partner with someone who can provide honest feedback. I have an accountability partner. All right. We check in every day. What are you doing? How are you doing it? What are your goals? Are you meeting them? Okay. What do you think about this? And we have to seek continuous improvement through personal development. Personal development is always needs to be in your plan. We got to practice active listening to improve our engagement. All right. We have to encourage and act on the feedback regarding our communication styles. We have to invest in communication skills training. If you are a public speaker, which I am, okay, I speak at a lot of events. I have to constantly look at how I'm speaking and to the audience that is in front of me. And it's not about me, it's about the message that I need to elevate what their mission, their goals that they have in the audience. All right. So I have to communicate on the level on which they are at. And so I have to understand and do my research. I have to understand how they talk. So I'm from the military background. All right. I know all the military lingo. I could speak that all day. But when I go into a civilian organization, I have to understand how they speak and the language for which they are going to understand. So we have to invest in communication skills training. All right. And then we have to regularly update, again, like I said, social media profiles, our websites. We have to develop and follow a content strategy. Okay. If you are not quite sure what I'm speaking to, you can reach out and I can, assist you, but it has to align with your personal brand. And we have to actively engage with our online audience. Please do not ghost anybody. Okay. And what I mean by ghosting is you're putting out information. You're like, oh, okay, I want people to respond. They're responding and you don't say nothing. Okay. You just walk away. you're going to lose people. You're going to lose the momentum that you're trying to have. All right. And so we have to really talk through accountability, okay, and how it breeds responsibility. Accountability is really you taking ownership, okay? And yeah, it is. How Coach K says it very pointedly. How we show up and communicate is important. Being relational is with your audience is absolutely necessary. If it's not, they're not going to ask you to come back. All right. If you're a public speaker and and you go in there and you're not able to communicate effectively, you're not going to be asked back, or you're not going to be asked for to participate in other opportunities, because we want to make sure that our personal brand is not only consistent and polished, but it also resonates with our audience and achieves long-term success. If you are in a career, if you are in a business, if you're transitioning from something that was, very significant, all right, you understand this is a long game. This is a long game. Nothing happens overnight. So you have to have the right personal brand strategy to make this thing long lasting and a legacy. All right. That's really what we're talking about here. All right. We want to be known for what we do very well. So make sure, okay, that we are asking ourselves lots of questions. So I went over, and I'll go over my notes a little bit more here. We went over, let's see here. We have reliability, consistency, authenticity. We also talk about continuous improvement, goal setting, our visibility. So y'all, this is so important. All right. So maintain accountability in these areas to ensure your personal brand is consistent. Okay. So this has been today's discussion, if you will. You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here live with me today, Coach K. And if y'all don't know Coach K, reach out to her. She's got a relevant social brand, personal brand. All right. So follow her on all social media platforms. All right. But making sure that our accountability is crucial. Okay. Or making sure our accountability is on point. And it's crucial for maintaining a strong and impactful personal brand across various elements, such as we talk about appearance, our behaviors, our communication skills, and our digital presence. So this is your host, Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway. Hopefully today I empowered you to do better. And with the accountability, I elevated your mindset and I ignited your success. So keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And we'll see you all very, very soon.
Yeah.